And welcome back to 2 seconds later in Fate Hollow Ataraxia. We're just going to continue this because it keeps going, and I'm well over the time that I had been well over the time that I was planning for that episode, and I want to record the next one. So, having procured the drinks, the kids flop down to the grass in small groups and take a break. Saber's kneeling down next to the boy, sitting cross-legged. For some reason, she looks restless. She just wants to play. Looks like she remembered that, unlike usual, she isn't wearing her skirt. Carefully checking around her, she timidly tries the cross-legged pose. I've never been able to do Indian style. I don't know what they call it around the world, but we call it like Indian style sitting, right? At least that's what I remember being told growing up, what it was called. But yeah, cross-leg would make more sense. I've never been able to do that for some reason. Like, I'm not flexible enough with my legs and such. It's weird. Like, I'm like the only person I know that about, but it's also not something that comes in conversation very much, and how's that? Her satisfied expression seems to say. Hiding myself deeper within the shade, I feel a tinge of regret. That's a lie. In fact, I am barely suppressing the laughter that's threatening to burst forth. Saber starts talking to the energetic boy beside her.
先ほどのは良くない相性のようですね。気安く呼びかけてしまったことを謝ります。しかし、そのままにしておいて良いのですか？
別に怒ってねえよ。大声出して悪かったよ。
Another boy plops down on his stomach beside them.
こいつさ、キーパー得意なんだ。ボール怖がんねえからさ。
素晴らしいではないですか。
俺はシュートがしたいんだよ、フォワードで。
1点も入れたことねえけどな。で、いつだっけ？こんな近くからのシュートを腹で直に受けちゃってさ、うえーって。
なるほど。だからと。
そういうこと。
恥じることはありません。名誉の負傷です。
ゲロじゃ相手からファール取れねえって。
あれ、元の名前なんだっけ？なんか言ってたよね。今日から俺はゲロストンだっけ？
ガリクソンじゃねえか？
ちげえよ。
They don't even know his name. While scratching his head, the boy says.
スペインのさ、リーガ・エスパニョーラにすっげえシュート打つ選手がいるんだ。
Oh, okay, he's giving himself a nickname based on some player.
トリスタンっていう。
ああ、それだ。
Right at that moment, Saber's eyes flip wide open and her gaze fixates on the boy in front of her.
なんだよ、やるなよ。
トリスタン。あなたはトリスタンですか？
ゲロスでいいってんだろ。恥ずかしいからもうやめろよ。
Okay, I'm not aware of the player. I'm not really aware of any soccer players, but yeah. Is it something she's aware of from her time? As a name?
素晴らしい名前ではないですか。トリスタン。ぜひそう呼ばせてください。
I don't know.
別に本名じゃねえし、俺がこんなサッカー弱いままじゃトリスタンだって迷惑だろ。
He says, pointing at the proud-looking Saber.
そんなことはない。あなたのような少年の憧れになることはいつの時代でも戦いに赴く者の何よりの励みとなるでしょう。
That's a good point. That's sort of what I was thinking before. Like, if you take on a nickname that matches your aspirations, then you gotta try to live up to it, right? If you reject it on the premise of you not living up to it, then that's you rejecting the possibility of you living up to it at any point in the future, right? Confuse Tristan's cheeks start burning red.
1点くらいなんですか？あなたならすぐに入れられます。頑張りましょう。
Taking the initiative, Saber stands up straight.
何しろ最終的には77対88というような得点になるわけですから、選手1人が1点入れる機会くらいは。
姉ちゃんそれバスケね。
スリーポイントシュートとかもないから。
変な外国人。
Soccer's... Oh, is it? Nope, still going. Yeah, I thought this was just fucking going on forever. That's part of why I stopped it. The game begins. Just prior, Saber keeps insisting that Tristan should come out in front, but...
勝つつもりならあんたが前に出なきゃダメだ。キーパーは絶対俺がやる。
To be fair, you could also go for a tie. He absolutely would not budge. Saber's side is outnumbered. Goalkeepers aside, the teams are 3-on-4. With this, a few players, the difference of even one may end up affecting the match far more than expected. Once the ball's there, the basic strategy is to attack while passing it between Saber and one other player. However, that leaves one defender to back up the two of them. Just the one. Not exactly a reliable situation. Yeah, I could sort of imagine how you'd want to... Playing hockey, I definitely know the feeling. On the other hand, the opposing team, in addition to having one defender, can use the remaining player as a midfielder in both offense and defense for a much better strategy, ultimately, because you're able to be much more flexible and have someone that could play either. Looks like kids didn't mention anything about an offside rule. In that case, for Saber, with her speed, it would be advantageous to press deep within the enemy side, I'd guess. However, the passes get cut too often, and the attack soon crumbles, and the entire team is forced to defend. Saber's team is clinging onto its field and can't make a move. A cry comes towards them from the goal. The keeper himself cannot advance in front, instead shouting at the top of his lungs. The boy points out the best spot to attack. Now is a chance! Gracefully stopping the ball that was cleared by her team. She is advancing forward. Her dribbling picture perfect. A world of difference from before. With this, neither allies nor enemies will catch her. That's right, opposed by the numerous enemies, Saber's literally playing two roles. The opposing team's defender stands in her path. Slowing down, it looks as if she's about to pass the ball to her teammate on the other side. Suddenly, turning her body around, she dashes forward yet again. A feint. Having artfully handled the opponent, she leaves him behind. Well done! Now, only the goalkeeper remains.
Chance! Sensei de morai!
Her teammates' cheers intensifying, never stopping her feet for even a moment. Saber nods. Even the goalkeeper already has the vision of her last shot flashing before him. Seeing the image of a roaring lion approaching from the front, he knows he's already dead.
もう外しません。
And at an even greater distance this time, she finally assumes the shooting position. Is it confidence? Or maybe just compassion for the keeper, giving him time to run away?
Hot!
A flash of her foot, like a bow releasing an arrow. A gunshot like sound reverberates through the field. My cheeks shiver as if having received an electric shock. Covering their ears, the kids are petrified. Did she break the sound barrier? She did say she'll be serious, and yet serious she definitely did. Yeah. It's Saber after all. This is the end. Fearing the worst, I look over the goal. What's left of the kid? A gaseous mist of red particles. Well, not quite. Huddled behind the goalpost, the poor kid finally dares to crack open his eyelids. There's no ball. And neither is there a gaping hole. All that's there is a soft breeze swaying the net.
すっげえ映画見てキーパー死んだ死んでねえよ
んじゃボールは
The agitated kids turn towards Saber. With a shamed face, she points towards the sky.
申し訳ありません。
Did you miss? A mix of angry cries, screams, and shouts of joy pierce the autumn sky. Like a boomerang, or maybe some kind of UFO, the pitiful remains of the ball split into a big Mitsubishi shape from flying back. She broke the ball instead of actually sending it towards the goal. Is that what we're saying? Oh, fan.
ああ三枝のボールはありやがった
Ooh. Interesting. Is one of the kids here a younger brother of her?
姉ちゃんに殺される 俺知らねえぞ。怒られるのコウタ兄ちゃんだけだからな。
どうすんだよ試合。
おお、もう一回やってみてプリーズ。
だからボールがねえんだって。
Saber hangs her head in shame. In the meantime, the remains of the ball finally land in the nearby thicket. Having received the full force of the impact, the synthetic leather has split magnificently. The straight line burn marks evident on the surface, lays the victim to witness Saber's deadly attack. I hesitate for a while. Shall I watch the match to the end, or shall I leave before they notice me? I want to keep watching, but I really shouldn't interfere with this development.
どっちかしか取れないよな、こういう。
As much as I hate to leave, there is one thing I can do. That being, trace on, reinforce the ball. Mourning over their fallen comrade, only Tristan manages not to fall into despair.
だよ、たかがボールじゃん。
Or project a ball, maybe?
でも三枝兄には当分小遣いなしだぜ。
それは諦めろ。
私が弁償を。
無理。うちの姉ちゃんが人様からお金もらうわけないよ。
遺憾に存じます。
だったらゲロス持ってこいよ。家近いだろ。
俺のボールは川に放流したんだ。
ああ、前の PK 戦の時のゲロスのか。
Wouldn't the solution here be, especially if Saber's offering to compensate for her to just go buy a new one and give it to the person that had theirs lost?
PK であんな飛距離稼いだシュート初めて見たよな。
せえな、いつか大きくなって戻ってくんだよ。
面目次第もございません。
And then suddenly, the soccer ball comes back, bouncing up high as it hits the grass. It's now in Saber's hands. The scar marks are still there, yet it definitely holds air. Okay, so reinforcement.
何？
Are you just making it more resistant to being kicked? Or is it now, like, hard enough for other... I guess, is it gonna hurt the kids to try to, like, pass and kick it? Is it like, hard and strong enough at this point?
どっから飛んできた？
I'm still watching, but now from the thicket behind them, lying on the ground, the kids huddle around Saber gawking at her hands.
治ってる。怖え。サプライズ。姉ちゃんマジシャン？
いえ、魔術は不得意です。
Don't say that.
ほら戻ってきたじゃん。なあ。
生きてんのかよ。っていうか復活？
これはそうですね。きっと魔法です。
Saber's holding onto their precious ball tightly.
さて、
Does this reinforcement last indefinitely? I didn't think it would, but I don't think I've ever thought about that before. I think the vast majority thinks he's reinforced in the past. Because, like, he does the reinforcement stuff, but doesn't he when he fixes stuff, isn't that usually him understanding the structure of it so he can fix it properly? Not so much that he's, like, reinforcing. I'm trying to remember. Because that's the thing that's relevant, but a lot of the reinforcement examples we saw were him making, like, reinforcing a weapon that just got broke anyways at some point. Now that the secret is out, it's time to retreat. Saber's innocent joy of playing soccer with the kids would be spoiled by seeing me here.
試合の結果はまた次の機会に教えてもらうってことで。
Sneaking around, I quietly leave the playground. Right then, where should I go for the afternoon? That was long. That was very long. I wonder if this would be related to the soccer match.
おい、セイバー。あれ、いないのかな？
That or just came back home and is like, hey, Saber! Wait, no, she's not here. She's at the playground. Strange, I followed her all the way here from the living room. She should be here. As I hold my chin to think, I think I hear a voice coming from inside. Run. This seems dangerous, especially with that weird font. Giggling can be heard from the other side of the screen door.
なんだ、いるじゃないか。開けるぞ、セイバー。ダメなら断ってくれ。
Okay. Having warned her, I slide the door open as I thought she was there all along. She's standing up straight, yet wearing an expression several times more gentle than normal while holding the plushie I bought for her a while back. I don't remember. I thought you bought for her? I thought that line... Am I remembering incorrectly? I thought that line was like something that Taiga happened across, and it was like, yeah, you can have it, or something like that. Been a while. It seems like Saber didn't notice me entering. She's still smiling at the plushie. Good thing she's not naked.
セイバ
Since it seemed like she hadn't noticed me, I called out to her the second time. Then an expression of shock appeared on her face, and she began to panic. For reasons unknown to me, Saber hurriedly searches around her. Then she stuffs the plushie into the futon beside her, and taking a deep breath, finally faces towards me. By now, she has returned to the regular Saber.
はい。何かご用ですか、シロ。
Are you embarrassed by that?
ああ、いや、うん。それよりもセイバー、一体何をしてたんだ？
いえ、特に何も。
She answers right away. No, it really didn't look like nothing. On top of that, didn't you just hide the plushie brazenly?
いや、でも、
何ですか、シロ。何か見ていたとでも言うのですか？
Is this a threat? Her restless eyes are asking, You didn't see anything strange just now, did you? Alright then. If that's the case, I'm going to tease her. Just a little bit.
ああ、見てないぞ。セイバーがそのぬいぐるみを抱えてニヤニヤしてたところとか、自分で動かしてたところとか、小さな子供を相手にしてるような口調だったところなんて。ああ、大丈夫。それにあのぬいぐるみをセイバーが布団の中に持ち込んで一緒に寝てるなんてことはみんな。
Of course, I've never seen her doing that, but it seems like it hit the mark. Did I push it too much? I'll just go on just a bit further, though.
あ、いや、人形やぬいぐるみに話しかけたりするのは変じゃない。優しさの証明だ。同心を理解してやれるってことでもあるし。
She really does act like a child. Like thinking back to the soccer stuff, she really is. She feels like she's the sort. I think the idea with her, from a characterization point of view, is that she has that nature of hers, but she was never really in a situation where she could indulge in it because of her situation. So she's doing it sort of for the first time, so she's like getting a bit more into it than you'd think of for someone that's technically her age.
いい大人が人形をコレクションしたり、人間みたいにお世話したりするのだって、むしろ高尚な趣味なんじゃないか？あれ？
Don't poke the lion. For some unknown reason, a wind starts to blow from within the room.
そうですか、シロ。
There's a faint smile on Saber's face. The wind seems to be coming from the direction where Saber's standing. Is this her, like, the ability she had that she used to hide the sword?
Saber?
Da-da, da-da, da-da. We need to find a hotel that night. What? 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 It just ended there? What? 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 Not even a punchline? Okay. That's weird. Okay, well, I'm confused by that last one. Okay. I left the lunch arrangements to Sakura and went shopping. Now then. You might as well just have had, like, the scene, like, cut out with, like, static, like a jump scare sort of thing going on. And then Emiya died that day. And then sent me back to the beginning of the days. I left the lunch arrangements to Sakura and went shopping. Now then, what shall we do for dinner tonight? It's already fall, and it would be real nice to have the taste of season.
そうだな。例えば栗ご飯とか。
Walking around like that, I come upon Castor. Probably buying groceries, same as me. She's holding a tote bag and looking at the storefront. No need to call out to her, I guess. I'll just quickly finish my own shopping. Okay. All done. Mackerel pie was on sale. Mackerel pike. I assume that's the type of fish. So that's what today's main dish is going to be. The mushrooms were looking good too, so I'll go with the rice. Thinking how to put those together, I noticed Caster again. Since we seem to have arrived at the same time, she must have already bought stuff and is about to go back. But doesn't look like it. There isn't a lot of stuff in her bag, and she's still looking at the storefronts.
Oh.
Now that I've realized it, I can't just pass by. I'll go greet her as a fellow housewife.
おい、さっきから何やってんだよ、キャスター。
Hey, I
あら、セイバーのところの坊や。
Oh, is that how you know me? She didn't notice me until I actually got it closer. I got a lot closer and called out to her. I guess she was lost in thought.
坊やこそ何をしてるのかしら。
見ての通り飯の買い物。キャスターもだろ？
ええ。
With that, she looks at my shopping bags. No wonder. Some of the ingredients I just bought are still moving.
もしかして坊や料理できるの？
Quite. You really don't know much about Emiya if you don't know that.
もしかしなくてもできるぞ。うちで家事の大半は受け持ってるからな。キャスターだってそうなんだろ？
ええ、まあ。
That reply sounded a bit evasive.
それで、さっきからずっとうろうろしてるみたいだけど、何か探し物でもあるのか？
坊や、もしかしてずっと見てたのかしら。
まさか。俺だってそんなに暇じゃないぞ。買い物に来たらキャスターがいただけって話だ。
そう。
何か探すんなら案内しようか？この辺りはまだ不案内だろ？
ええ、そうなんだけど。
Her response is pretty vague.
迷惑だって言うならこのまま帰るけど。
そうじゃないのよ、坊や。そもそも何を作ればいいのかわからなくて。
どういう意味だかわからないんだが。
She hangs her head a bit and lets out a sigh.
だからこの国の食材をどうすればいいのかわからないのよ。
So you're not incompetent at cooking, but you really don't know much about a variety of foods, or you don't have a large you don't have a wide experience in cooking. Well, good news. The internet's only, I assume this is supposed to be set in 2004 since that's when it said that it was released. The internet's actively there and is at a point where stuff is at the press of a fingertip within years.
ああ。
I see. So that's what it was. Come to think of it, Ryder said something along the lines of not knowing what to buy and how to. Well, no, the situation was a little different there.
だったらどんなものを作りたいのか教えてくれれば何を買えばいいか教えられるけど、例えば久月先生が食べたいものとか。
宗一郎様は何を作っても食べてくれるのよ。前に聞いたら私の作ったものなら何でもいいって。
She sounds awfully happy all of a sudden, like some sort of strange switch just flipped on inside her head.
オッケー。のろけ話がしたいだけなら俺はもう帰ります。
待ちなさい、坊や。違うから。
Great. I'll die of embarrassment if we get mistaken for newlyweds in the middle of the shopping district.
だったらキャスターが作れるものを作ればいいじゃないか。
でも宗一郎様この国の料理が好きみたいだし、それにあそこお寺じゃないの。
Wait, what does the temple thing have to do with it? Are those really the words of the witch that entrenched herself in the temple to suck up energy from the population of an entire town?
まあいいや。どうするにしろどんなものを作ろうとしているのか教えてくれ。
そうね。
Caster is happily blabbering away about her Kuseki sensei. I can't bring myself to abandon her. I eventually end up accompanying her for her whole shopping trip. But unbeknownst to me, this is just the beginning of a lot of trouble. Fantastic. Oh, fantastic. I got away at least. That's a good sign. I'll do this at some point. This is one that I've been sort of putting off for forever and a half, so, well, I just had lunch, so I guess I'll go for a walk. The #1 recreational spot in the city, the beachfront park. A must-see location for dating couples. Date couples? No. Now when I finally get some solitary time. I'll throw the frivolous thoughts away and just take it easy for a while. It's a sunny day, perfect taking a nap. But should you stay out late in the afternoon, a chilly breeze is bound to remind you of the season. The joy of lazily wasting away this valuable time.
おおエミヤなんたる偶然かな
Yeah, I don't think it's too much of a coincidence. A familiar voice.
三つ釣りサボりか。
何部活まるで私が練習の虫みたいな言い方だねそれを言ったら昔のお前の方が私よりよほど真面目だったじゃないか
だからその俺に負けじと頑張ってたのが三つ釣りお前じゃないか。
Did I really try that hard? Anyway, my part-time job and my house chores kept me so busy that my memories of the archery club are getting quite thin.
だっけ今の主力メンバーでも私とエミヤ以上に場に出てくるやつっていなかったぞエミヤはバイトもしてるしどうしてか生徒会も手伝ってるし一体全体いつ遊んでるんだろうって
He doesn't. That's the key. Emiya is not the sort of person that has fun in life.
三つ釣りだって似たようなものだろ。
オンとオフはきっちりつけるんだ私は人様に見えないところでいろいろリフレッシュしてんの
俺だって勉強バイト余暇の区別はつけてる。
どうだかエミヤはオンオフっていうかオンオンオン
Yeah, that is exactly my impression of him. She lets out a refreshing laugh. Like, even when he does have leisure time, usually it ends up becoming something where, while he enjoys stuff like cooking and other stuff like that, it's more just like he looks to use that time to get stuff done, basically. Which is fine. Not exactly how I approach my leisure time, but it's perfectly fine if that's how you enjoy life, I suppose. Well, I did say that I try to live a full life. In reality, I'm not that good at it. Rest, work... No, I can't really tell.
なんて思っていたわけですが最近人が変わったかのように遊んでいるエミヤは今日はデートか何か待ち合わせ
You know, I say that I don't do that in terms of differentiating rest and leisure. But the thing for me is, like, one of the reasons I started this YouTube channel was because I wanted to structure my video game playing. That was one of the reasons. Because I have a tendency to do a lot of things leisure-wise on impulse, where I'll either like burn through a game in like an example, when I got Danganronpa 2 back in the day, I got that through to my Vita and just like stayed in my room, and I think I skipped college classes and stuff like that at the time. And I finished it within like 2 days. Like legitimately 48 hours in that time frame. I had finished it. And I just burned through it, and it was so good. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But I burned myself out on that really quickly, and I do that for a lot of stuff. And I also have a very unstructured, and it's either that or I do something, I get into it, and then I leave it for a while, I come back to it, I don't really feel like doing it again. That sort of thing. Part of the reason I do the channel is because it gives me a structure. It also gives me a goal system. It also makes sure I finish the games that I'm enjoying, even if I'm just doing things because it's not as impulsive. It also adds a bit more of a work sort of like objective-based structure where there's a bit more benefit to just my general lifestyle in terms of keeping that up. And honestly, now that I think of it, a lot of my current leisure activities basically amount to me doing something akin to a hobbyist job almost, like this channel. Like, I don't make money off of it, I don't monetize anything. Even if YouTube wants to monetize things for their sake, I don't get any money from it. But I do treat it sort of like in a professional manner, and that's sort of the point. To just, you know, develop those habits and whatnot better. But, sorry. It's just, the whole thing made me think back on how I approach a lot of things nowadays. I used to be a lot more lax in how I approach stuff, and stuff like this was me trying to develop myself as a person. So, yeah, little insight on the channel. Date, meeting, no. Her perceptiveness is as futile as ever. A date, though. It's not like I wouldn't, but...
待ってくれ。その言い方だと俺がシンジみたいに聞こえないか？
Can Shinji even get a girl to go out with him? He's so... I don't know. I don't see how anyone see the appeal there.
あいつは遊びすぎ。まあエミヤにも少しはシンジっぽいところもあれば、こっちの気も楽なんだけどね。
There's a thin line between plain shock and relief. Wait a moment, she's actually alone as well.
じゃあ三綴はデートの待ち合わせ中なわけだ。
私が？誰と？どこで？
そこで少しは相手がいるのじゃよとか強がってみるとか。
なんだよエミヤ。昔ならそこでそうかってサバサバしてたのにな。今じゃホワホワしてデート向けの女の子が大好きです。ラブラブって感じなのか？
語弊があるぞ。とにかくだったら三綴も今一人きりか？
お互い様。でもへえ。
Do not suggest that we be alone together. Do not suggest that we be alone together. Mitsuzuri nods a few times. And finally, as if having decided something...
よし、これもご縁だ。遠坂の代わりに付き合え。
Oh, is Tosaka seen as my, standard?
俺がお前とお付き合い？
買い物のお供ぐらいしろってことだ。ま、エミヤと一緒なんてめったにないからな。時にはこういうトンチキなお供でも悪くないだろう。
Thanks. The response to my jumbled muttering is very much a manly answer. Actually, just like a gender-bent issei. Is that... what? As I attempt to grasp the situation, Mitsuzuri buffs her cheeks in dissatisfaction. Like a gender-bent issei.
なんだい、私じゃ不満かい？
I mean, it's not a matter of good enough or not, right?
誰もそんなこと言ってないぞ。
そうだよな。いつもお相手がマトウに遠坂にセーバーさんだもんな。私じゃお役に足りないってことか。贅沢すぎるぞエミヤは。その辺認識ある？君の瞳に惨敗。
綺麗どころがご所望ならライダーを紹介するが。
As soon as I mention Mitsuzuri's one weakness, she goes quiet. Perhaps I should mention that Ryder has been wanting to rent out Mitsuzuri. What?
いいよ別に。だいたいライダーさんはエミヤのじゃなくてマトウの付き添いじゃないか。
What? What the fuck does that even mean?
さくらだって2つ返事で承認のはずだ。
Rent out? Like, does she want to ride her? Don't know.
いや、貸した借りたじゃなくて、今日はどうするんだ？
The conversation is taking a strange turn and needs to be forced back on track.
よしよし。ああなんだ。飯は食っただろうからお茶でも付き合いなさい。その後は CD 屋で新婦さらってゲーセンな。
それはあれか。俺がゲーム遊戯施設のピコポコした雰囲気が増えてと知ってのお誘いか？
The hustle and bustle of an arcade, eh? That's a thing, apparently. My gaming is limited to stuff like Uno or President, at best. With a hint of uneasiness, Mitsuzuri lets out a theatrical sigh.
もうまったく遠坂といいエミヤといいこのご時世にありえないアナクロちゃんだな。
I mean, it's
あ
2000.
となんかあれでなかなか。
It's 2004. You're not that old. I mean, you basically grew up. I mean, it's 2004. You're 18 or 19, which means that you would have been born like 1980. Like you would have been a kid when like the first PlayStation came out. Even The idea that you didn't get any of that. I know the idea is that he has his training stuff and all the other stuff going on where he doesn't really pay attention to it. But still.
いや、遠坂の穴黒ぶりには遠く及ばないぞ、俺。
I try to object. One of my very practical ability to strip any machine down to bare metal for any repairs more than compensate for not being familiar with some consumer electronics. Sure, that's how we say it. Sure, that makes sense in some fashion in some place in the world, I'm sure.
そういうことは携帯電話くらい持ってから言いなさいって。まあメール打ってるエミヤの姿も想像できないけどな。
I concur.
やっぱり持たなきゃいけないのかな、携帯。猫さんには会うたび言われたりするけど。
Neko. I don't remember that. Neko-san? Mrs. Uri looks at me quizzically.
バイト先の人。藤姉の大昔のクラスメート。
Oh, okay.
ああ、コペンハーゲンのお姉さん。そうだよ。バイトならシフトの連絡とかで必要だろ。
俺の場合、仕事以外のいろいろヘルプ用っぽいけど。
That's true. That's one reason that you want to have a work-life balance. I sort of try to... It's been less so during COVID and whatnot, where I've been working from home a lot more. But before that, I did explicitly go out of my way to not have anything outside of just my work or my cell phone number being available to connect myself to my work environment. Very distinctly not have that when I come home, basically. Maybe it's better if I don't.
まあそれこそエミヤの勝手っつうかプライベートだけど時間の問題じゃないかきっと。
Mrs. Uri laughs heartily. She really seems to enjoy laughing, so...
そのあたりもエミヤに指南してやらなきゃな。授業にはちゃんと遠坂も連れてこいよ。
逃げるぞ、あいつは。
If Tosaka were to see Coach Mrs. Uri's knowledgeable face, she'd be grumbling about it the whole day.
そっか、先にエミヤとセイバーさんに教え込んでからできないのはあんただけよって言った方があいつ向きかね。はてさて。
Yeah, that might work. On her especially. She lays out her brainwashing strategy, grinning broadly, nonetheless defeating Tosaka's stubbornness. I can only wish her luck. Not something I would try myself.
まあさておき、とりあえずはエミヤとゲーセンだな。体感系ならいい勝負ができるだろ。うん。
Yeah, I'm not sure what sort of games would be I haven't been to an arcade much, but maybe like some like Zombie of the Dead sort of. I do vaguely remember some zombie shooting games. House of the Dead, was it called? That's something that comes to mind in terms of like first person stuff. We're back to that again. First person. Something that we could both enjoy at the game center would probably be.
拳銃のやつとかか？
いいよ。エミヤならそういうの得意そうだし、意外にコンティニューに頼らなくて済むかな。
True. I know it's not archery, but he probably has a good eye for that sort of thing, yeah? Hand-eye coordination and whatnot, for aiming and such.
とりあえず駅前に移動な。お茶くらいはおごるからさ。
いや、頼むから割り勘で。
Mitsuzuri sets off at a brisk pace, and I have to chase after her. This really is a date, isn't it? Not that I mind. Maybe I should have just kept quiet.
ほらエミヤ、ぼーっとするな。私は男とゲーセン行くの初めてなんだから。そうだ、パンチ力測ろうよ、パンチ力。
I'm gonna lose. I can't help it, I'm too excited. She keeps urging me on. Perhaps calling it a date was a bit of a stretch. Okay. That was better than I feared at the very least. I don't know, something with her, it just feels like that's gonna go wrong, that's gonna go poorly, etc., etc. So am I gonna die again if I guess I have to do something else. Interesting. Okay. There's a shit ton of stuff. Well, I can do the school stuff later. No, there's like the part-time job thing that I need to get to at some point. new for Taiga. Hey, boy.
おはようございます藤村先生。
おはよう、みんな元気してる？
And no. A relaxed morning greeting that does not befit a teacher. Well, it is Fujine after all. Looking sharp really isn't really isn't like her, so it wouldn't bother us. Looking sharp really isn't like her, so it would bother me if she did.
困らないんだけど傾いてるのはちょっと。
何か困ってるのシロ？
Fujine, notice me inclining my head in doubt. Here, we're strictly teacher and student, but it's just before homeroom and class hasn't started. And we're not even in the class, right?
いや、いつもの藤姉らしいなぁと。
私が教師らしくないと言いたいわけね、エミヤくんは。
それほどじゃないけど。あ、特に困ってることはないです、今は。
We see each other all the time and know each other's problems all too well. In that sense, you could even call it an ideal teacher-student relationship, where nothing needs to be hidden. Well, no, you couldn't, but being like siblings is a bit too close.
シロももっと真剣にならないとダメじゃない。
なんか俺に会ったか？
だって卒業までもう遠くないのにまだシロったらフラフラしてるじゃない。ダメだよ。先生としては心配で。
Define playing around. They said that he's not planning to go to college or anything like that. I don't know what he's planning specifically. I think he's sort of just playing to keep... Is he planning to do magic stuff? Is that his goal ultimately? In terms of a... let's call it a career move? Fujine keeps lamenting, but she doesn't sound very serious. I suppose that's why students find her easy to approach for all sorts of advice. It's one of her virtues.
シロもっと担任の先生を信用して相談しなさい。
今晩の晩飯のこととか？
お肉がいいな。こうね、ガッツにはね、やっぱりタンパク質と脂質よね。
Early morning at school, and this is what we end up discussing. I would also go for some meat. I have some leftover steak I can eat too. I think I mentioned eating steak in previous episodes. I did get steak! And I ate it. It was good. All of a sudden, a figure walks past like a shadow.
おはようございます久月先生。
おはようございます。
おはよう。
This is Kuzuki, the strict ethics teacher. Also, just an observation, but isn't Fujine's outfit incredibly casual for a teacher? I don't know what they do normally, but Kuzuki sort of like it's a distinct variance, I suppose. It said that students admire him more with every year they spend in the school, and I was no exception. As I went into my third year, I began to appreciate his style.
藤村先生、今月の予定に関してですが、
文化祭の準備と中間試験ですね。あと定例の教職会議がいつになってました？
今日の夕刻です。3年の進路指導のこともあります。
わかりました。進路は大変ですね。でも、久月先生は教え子さんたちに慕われてますから。
Fujini's holding a very professional conversation. I almost instinctively rub my eyes to make sure I'm not dreaming.
いいえ、藤村先生ほど辛抱を集められてはおりません。
そんなことないですよ。ほら、エミヤ君がそんなことないって顔してますよ。
A hard cut to Emiya with just the most befuddled look on his face ever. Huh? Don't just dump it on me. But I can't horse around like usual in front of Kuzuki.
久月先生は真剣に頼れる先生だと思います。
そうか。信頼に応えられるよう努力しよう。では。
Kuzuki heads towards the classroom. The moment his slim figure disappears down the hallway, the two of us breathe a collective sigh of relief, and she pats me on the shoulder.
いやね、もうシロったらいい子ぶって。
そういう藤姉だっていきなり猫かぶるなよ。 というかやればできるんだ。
何よその言い方。まるで私がダメな子みたいじゃない。ダメな子か。
The idea of being called a girl apparently pleases her, so she repeats it a few times.
間違いなくな。ああ、そんなダメな子に育てられたんだから俺もダメな子なんだろうか。
It looks like we wasted all the pre-homeroom time on this.
あ、時間だ。シロはダメな子じゃないわよ。
Eh.
さあ、教室に行きましょう。
おう、今日は時間に間に合うんだ。
そりゃ
What? She dashes forwards with an odd battle cry. No way! What happened to the serious teacher just now?
ほらほら、間に合わないと遅刻だぞ、エミヤくん。
What, are you gonna give me detention if I'm late?
ダメなことかそれ以前にあまりにも正体不明すぎる。
Okay. Seems like her for sure. I suppose. Shinji.
エミヤ、昼にしようぜ。
I mean, this is when I turn off the game, right? For reasons unknown, Shinji came up to me, invited me to join him for lunch. Totally out of the blue, but it does happen a few times a year, so it's not that surprising.
いいけど俺弁当だぞ。シンジは購買行ってパン買ってくるか。
購買か。いや、安っぽい惣菜パンって気分じゃないね。学食か。いっそ外まで食べに行かない？
Do we really have the time? Ow. I guess he means the shops in Miyama. Sounds reckless, but it's not impossible to get back before 5th period if we hurry.
たまにはいいかな。今日の弁当は俺が作ったもんだし、弁当は日頃のお礼を兼ねて後藤君にもらってもらえばいいし。
お、珍しく話が早いじゃんか。よし、その素直さに免じて今日はとっておきの店を紹介してやるよ。バイト先の近くに美味しいパスタ屋を見つけてさ。
また新都まで行ってたら授業に間に合わないぞ。深山の商店街にしておこうぜ。
そんなのサボっちゃえばいいじゃん。単位足りてるだろ。
Come on, let's go. He keeps bugging me as if it's now or never. I have my reservations, but I just can't get the words amazing pasta out of my head. For Shinji, very particular about taste, to praise it so, it may well be worthwhile.
たわけ、自分だけでは飽き足らず、学友まで堕落させようとは。
And so Issei, who was listening, eavesdropping, in the back interrupts with the flames of justice.
なんだよリュウド、僕たちがどこで昼食を取るかなんてお前に関係ないだろ。部外者は黙ってろよ。部外者は関係はある。学友が悪友にいいようにたぶらかされ、そこを乱そうとしているのだ。大体だな。エミヤと約束をしたのはこちらが先なのだ。そうだろ、エミヤ。
I do not remember that.
悪い、覚えがないけど。
But if Issei says so, it's probably true. He's not the sort to lie for the sake of tricking Shinji, is he? I don't think he is. I've been having trouble remembering things lately for some reason. I probably said I'd go to the student council room in the morning. I don't really recall saying that, though.
空見たことか。まったく。どうせ断られるだろうと黙って聞いていれば強引なこと甚だしい。
I would say we've already had variants on this time frame where I totally didn't eat lunch with him, so... But if you think about the idea that if this is all the possibilities sort of converging into one, then yeah, I guess that's also the explanation behind him not remembering things very well.
さあ行くぞエミヤ。今日はとっておきの茶葉を出そう。信徒の炒めし屋など比較にならん。
I'm being dragged to the student council room.
はあ、何言ってんだかね。 どうせ暇なら生徒会室に来いっていつものやつだろ。そんなの約束でも何でもないよ。いやむしろ命令に近いんじゃない。予定がない時は生徒会室で昼食をとることなんて学則いつ作ったのさ生徒。
そんな学則など誰が作るか。生徒会室での昼食は合意の上だ。エミヤからも言ってやれ。今朝もきちんと約束をしたと。
したっけ今朝？
This morning? I feel like I remember that.
した。ホームルームの終わりに目があったじゃないか。
Is this gonna be just like a passing look? And it's like, that was you promising, right?
その後に俺が咳払いをすれば生徒会室、エミヤが咳払いをすれば教室という決まりだろうに。
He shakes his head. I'm really sorry. I didn't notice we had such a rule these last 3 years. I did think that he coughed unnaturally from time to time. I see. So that's how we've been deciding on the meeting place?
あのさ、前からちょっと思ってたけど、竜道って紙一重？
Hard to entirely disagree with that assessment.
失礼だ。たやすく突破しているお前に言われたくはないぞ。
Sparks are flying between the two of them. There's nothing spectacular going on, but it's an exciting battle nevertheless. I'd rather take out my lunch and spectate as I'm eating, but then I would be the only one full by the end of it. Well, that's their own damn fault, isn't it?
もしもし、2人とも昼休みもそう長くないんで決着は後にしてくれ。要するに3人で学食行けばいいんだろ。シンジは外食を諦めて、一星は生徒会室を諦める。それで釣り合いは取れるよな。
The ultimate solution of no one getting what they want.
お断りだね。外に食べに行くったら食べに行くんだよ。ほら、おごってやるから行こうぜエミヤ。終わったらそのまま街に繰り出そう。今日さ、ちょうど西高の女の子と合コンの予定が。
Interesting.
わからんやつだなマト。エミヤを悪の道に巻き込むなと言っているんだ。そんなに洋食が好きなら西欧にでも永住してしまえ。あとエミヤを合コンに誘うな。
If you like Western food so much, just move to Europe? That's sort of a shitty thing to say. Looks like my proposal has failed miserably too. It seems that the two of them have no intention of eating with me. I'm the other one.
もういい。好きにしろ。俺、学食で食べてくるから。
待てエミヤ。それではあまりにも情がない。ここはきっぱりと決断を下すのが友人としての責務ではないか。
I made my decision. I'm gonna go eat by myself.
どちらかを切り捨てるのは主義に反するだろうが、今は鉄の誠意を見せるべきだ。
同感だね。竜道と意見が合うなんて吐きそうだけど、全く同感だね。
Neither.
ほら、さっさと教えてやれよエミヤ。一人で寂しく昼食を取るのはどっちかってことをさ。
All of us.
じゃあ一星。
Oh. What?
なんで？シントのパスタ屋だよ。
What the fuck?
その後に合コンだよ。僕から見てもイケてる女の子たちと夢の3時間だよ。こっちのが楽しいに決まってんじゃん。
Okay, honestly, my choice would be neither at this point because you're both being sort of dicks about it. But if you're gonna make me choose one or the other, it would obviously be Issei because he's actually my friend.
うわ、エミヤマジわかんねえ。
パスタ屋には興味があるし、合コンは苦手だけど割と好きだ。だけど最大の問題はだな。
I point towards the schedule. That's right, 5th period is Fusionates class.
そうだな。少々残念ではあるが、実に学生らしい理由だ。エミヤはそうでなくてはならん。勝つ。
そういうわけだから、シンジもやめとけよ。生徒会室で一緒に飯食おうぜ。そうぞ。
その必要はあるまい。 あれほどの単価を切ったのだ。よもや校内で食事を取ろうとは思うまいよ。なあ、そうだろう、マット。
その通りだよ、竜道。頼まれたって生徒会室になんか行くもんか。いいさーだ、お前たちはいつも通り低俗で平凡な昼休みを過ごせばいい。けど勘違いするなよ。本当の勝者は誰なのかすぐに思い知らせてやる。
Ah ha ha ha, yeah! Shinji half laughs, half cries, and goes away. Damn. I really don't get it. But maybe there's something wrong with what I just said?
なあ一世、今の俺が悪かったのかな。
You're all idiots. That's my conclusion here.
そうだな。マトウに同情はしないが、もう少し言葉を選んでくれ、エミヤ。俺がマトウだったら間違いなく自決している。
What? What exactly did I say? I mean, literally the last thing I said was... The main problem is... But... Fucking hell, Issei. I can't really understand Issei either. Even though he said he has no sympathy towards him, he clasped his hands in silent prayer over Shinji's desk. Oh my goodness. The bell rings to signal the end of lunch. We conclude our lunch in the council room and prepare for class. About to start in 5 minutes. Shinji's missing. Seems he hasn't come back yet.
喉元過ぎればなんとやらか。
Did I just hear like a female scream? Like very silently in the ambient noise?
こうなるとマトウに悪いことをしたな。特に今日のマグロカツは素晴らしかった。一切れぐらいは奴に味合わせてやっても。
Okay, there it is. Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. Now that's louder. It wasn't just Issei who noticed something odd. Everyone in the class is looking out into the hallway to see what's going on. Did he fucking bring the party here? A crowd resembling a circus is approaching. The troupe traveling down the hallway appears to include Shinji and many of his first-year female admirers. They all have their lunchboxes and are feeding Shinji.
なんと。
Issei stands speechless. He is a bit of a polar opposite to Shinji, isn't he? Shinji stops to boast.
おや、そこにいるのは男だけで昼食をとる寂しい二人組じゃないか。
Oh, you wish you had what we have.
どうかな、今日の昼食もどうしようもなく惨めだったかな。女の子の歓声はなかったから、キャーシンジ様素敵あーんとかしてもらえなかったかな。
Issei starts to shake. Shinji's mood is already maxed. Whatever you want to call it.
僕は最高さ。もう言語に絶するほど楽しかったね。残念だな。君たちにもこの楽しさを分けてあげたかったよ。
おのれ、本当に分かりやすいやつだな、貴様は。
うわ、逃げようみんな。あそこにいるのはジジブサイ生徒会長だ。捕まったらセンスゼロのドレスコードを強制されるからね。
You say, but you're wearing the uniform properly yourself. The whole Shinji circus troupe runs away merrily down the hallway. I'm fairly certain they rehearsed all this beforehand.
逃がすかマトウ。エビア、藤村先生にはホムラハラの三大仏敵を始末してくると告げておいてくれ。
Oh, are you skipping? And with incredible speed, Issei follows after them. But even then, being an active member of the student council, he does not run. His walking has already surpassed running, though.
痛み分けだ。
The bell announces the start of 5th period. 4 months before graduation. Rito Issei, for the first time in his life, has missed a class. I wonder if that was Shinji's goal all along. Oh boy. Okay, well, I think that's probably a good place to end that. Shinji's fucking face at that point, though. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I still don't like him. At the same time, he makes Issei a lot more annoying, too. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave it there for today. Man, I for more than I intended today. But still, I guess at this point, we're just trying to reclaim, like, story-wise, we're just trying to reclaim our memories, yeah? Or get enough memories to actually act on them in a way that'll let us survive. It does seem as though this is happening at the same time as the stuff with Bazet and whatnot. So I guess we'll see if those have more impacts on one another outside of the milk thing from back when. I will say, I do quite enjoy the sort of segmented aspect of this. I think it does a good job. Because one of the problems with the original Fate Stay Night that sort of really drained me by the end of it especially, was that sometimes it just kept going. It just kept going. Having these so split up and you just like sort of choosing a segment one after the other sort of does box them to the point where most of them can't be too long, and at the same time you also have a situation where you sort of change up the pacing and the tone and other stuff fairly quickly so that you don't get as bored as easily. I wouldn't say I got bored when reading the original one, but if I was recording for an hour or 2 hours and it felt like a lot of the same stuff was happening over a very dragged out period of time, I would be like, okay, let's get to the end of this at a point towards it. And I think this is doing a better job at not having that. It's like, as interested I was in the story, the actual process of going through it could be on the more dull side previously. And again, this is doing a better job of handling that, in my opinion. At the same time, it makes the story a lot less coherent. There's the downsides, obviously, but I do think that there is a significant beneficial factor towards this series and the writing in this that's helping me enjoy it more at the very least. Maybe that'll stop more after time, because we're not that far in, and I don't think I was warned on how Fate Stay Night did it until significantly later in the process of going through it. But still, that's where I am, so I'll see y'all next time. Drive safely, everyone.